What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone for a slow-paced news update on the eve, basically, of playing PSV. Big game, important game for us, for the club. Financially, just for the fans as well. You need to beat PSV. To make it into the next round, or not beat, or not lose, for that matter. And you're into the next round, which is important, but it's also important for the part I want to talk about. And it's Tonali, in general, in Italian Juve, because that's what the reports are suggesting lately. Even though they're a bit conflicting with the other reports coming out from the same sources. And there's an update on Vlahovic as well, which might not be surprising for a few of us. But we're going to talk about that. Before we do that, as always, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about Giuntoli really being interested in signing Sandro Tonali this summer. Okay, so like I said, it's the eve of PSV. No preview today. My voice is gone. So no preview. It's just that. And then tomorrow we will discuss the game. But Sandro Tonali. So Fabiana Della Valle, working for Gazzetta dello Sport, has been speaking on his on her YouTube channel about Giuntoli, about the future plans of the club. And he didn't mention Champions League is important, beating PSV is important. He didn't talk about that, but he said that Giuntoli wants Sandro Tonali at the club. That's his main goal coming summer. Why? Obviously because he likes the profile. He thinks he's a good player, young, but the main thing, he's Italian. And what Giuntoli wants, he wants to build up an Italian Juve side. Now, I think a lot of fans would appreciate that. I'm one of those. If an Italian player is good and he plays for us, fantastic. But you don't need to force it. I just want to win. And if that's with one Italian in the team or 10, I take either, as long as we're winning. You don't need to force things, in my opinion. Now, where it doesn't really make sense is that the entire team is built without Italians right now. So getting Sandro Tonali is just it's just a drop in the ocean, basically, because if you look at our team, it's Di Gregorio, but at the back, yes, you have Cambiaso. It's not even sure he's going to stay next season. We all hope he does. The other defenders are not Italian. That midfield, if Locatelli starts, that's Italian. And up front, it's not Italian. So yes, you add Sandro Tonali, but then it stops. For me, the way the story got portrayed, I was like, wow, amazing, I guess. I was like, what else? And that's it. So that's one thing of the story. The other thing is that she flipped it 5 minutes into the video, and she's like, excuse me, oh yeah, and Giuntoli wants Adamo Lukman at the club, and he's ready to pay close to 50 million euros for Atalanta. And we will discuss, if that's actually a thing in the summer, we will discuss about the fee. Do we need to buy players from Atalanta again? The whole, saga again, over and over again, even though all the reports suggest that Lukman wants to go back to the Premier League. We will discuss that. But it's kind of like you do one thing for the Italian dream, quote unquote, and then you do another thing to rip that Italian dream apart, basically, to shreds. So it doesn't really add up. It doesn't all make that a lot of sense, Then there is the issue of the price tag. I think Newcastle paid 70 million euros, 75 million euros, for Tonali, or 80 million euros. They're not going to sell Tonali. How are you going to pay Tonali? I know it's easy to put out there, just give them Douglas Luiz. Who says Douglas Luiz wants to play for Newcastle? Who says Newcastle want Douglas Luiz? Who says Newcastle value Douglas Luiz anything close to what we paid him, So it doesn't really, you can have a dream. And it's like the report was also saying that Giuntoli has a fantastic feeling, relationship with his agent. And I'm like, that's cool. But that doesn't really help, having a good relationship. You're dealing with a player that got paid a lot of money, by Newcastle to get him away from Milan. So it's a very weird situation. I think 90% of the fan base would take Tonali. I don't think, an issue is that, oh, he's a Milan fan. At the end of the day, he's a professional. And I know some of you might laugh, because of the banning scandal and whatever, but he's a professional. And if Newcastle is like, we're going to sell you, he's not going to say, no, I'm not going to play for Juve. He's going to do that, like, all players do not end up playing for the club. They use support and so on. It doesn't work out like that. At the end of the day, it's your job, and then leaves a question like, what is going to happen with midfield? Does that mean they're already planning to move on Douglas Luiz? Because I don't think they're going to move on Cope Miners, no chance, So it's a very weird report, the way it got put out there, a new or an Italian Juve side. I'm like, cool, but we did a lot of things to kind of pull that away, this summer, last summer, over the years. We did a lot of work to not make it an Italian side. And now you want to just do a 180 and make it an Italian side. You got Colomani on loan. You potentially want to keep him. You got Vega on loan. You potentially want to keep him. You got Kelly, and you're going to need to keep him. You got Alberto Costa, who we haven't seen playing right. Like, those are not Italians, So it's a weird thing to report, So I don't believe that Giuntoli is sitting there thinking about, I need to build an Italian core here. I think he's sitting there and thinking about, I just need good players. Is he Italian? Cool. Perfect. Does he want to join? Even better. If he's not Italian, we move. And you wait until another Italian pops up, I guess, or you have an opportunity to bring in an Italian that actually adds value to the club, obviously not force it, and you have that. But yeah, I mean, it's a weird one. However, the story's not going away. It's not one of those stories that you read in October and then it's over. Like, it's coming up, quite frequently right now that Giuntoli really wants Tonali. So I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but there must be some sort of truth that Giuntoli is thinking about at least making an attempt, or have conversations with Newcastle and all parties involved to see if there's anything possible. If not, then we move on. I don't think it's possible for, well, many reasons I just mentioned. But you guys, let me know in the comments. Do you think it's possible? Do you think we should make an attempt and make a sacrifice to bring in Tonali, considering all the other things we also need to do with the loanees and the other situations we have, So let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Apologies for my voice, but it is what it is.